Can I say something to you that I wish someone had said to me a lot sooner? You are not broken, and there is nothing wrong with you. Now, I know that's not what the enemy has been telling you and whispering in your ears. I know that's not even what your past has tried to convince you of. And I know that some days the evidence feels overwhelming. Sometimes you have anxiety. Sometimes there may be fear that comes back, a setback, the relationships that didn't work out, and even the person that you thought that you should have been today, by now. But what if, just what if, everything that you labeled as brokenness is actually development? Follow me, because this is going to change how you see yourself today. I'm Dr. Victoria, and on this channel we talk about healing, identity, and walking in your God-given purpose. So if you're new here, welcome. I believe that you found this today for a reason. So today we live in a world that celebrates arrival. Finished products, polished people, highlight reels. And when we see that and our life doesn't look like that, you're still struggling, or you may be still going through a storm, or you're still healing, or you're still figuring things out. The conclusion that most people tend to draw is that something is wrong with me. We see it in corporate world today. We see it in social media, especially. We see it sometimes even in the church, because we see people worship on Sunday and then we assume that they have it all together. We hear testimonies in the past tense, and we forget sometimes that people are still in the middle of their testimony. And then we begin to compare our process to everybody else's presentation. And then mentally we lose. But here's what I want you to understand. Process is not failure. In progress is not the same as broken. Developing is different than being defective. So you're not a finished product that came out wrong. You're a living, breathing work that God is still authoring. I want to take you to one of the most powerful images of Scripture. It's in Jeremiah chapter 18. God sends the prophet Jeremiah to a potter's house. And while he's there, he's observing and watching what the potter is doing. He's watching the potter work with clay. The vessel that he's making begins to get marred. So something goes wrong in the shaping process. And what does the potter do? He doesn't throw the clay away. He doesn't declare it's ruined. He doesn't say, okay, there's nothing I can do about it. He doesn't even start over with different clay. He reworks it right there on the wheel into another vessel as it seemed good to the potter to make. And then God says, can I not do with you as this potter? You are the clay. God is the potter. And the marring, the breaking, the disappointments, the wounds, the detours, that's not the end of the story. That's part of the shaping. The potter doesn't abandon the marred clay. He uses the pressure of his own hands to make something better. See, what you call brokenness, God calls raw material. What you've labeled as a setback, God can call it a set up. You're not broken. You're being reshaped and reworked by the most skilled potter who has ever existed. So how do we actually start believing this? Because I know what you're saying. Some of you, that sounds good, but the feelings don't match the truth just yet. And I get it. I understand. That's okay. That's all right. That's part of the process too. So your faith goes through different stages. So here's what I want you to hold on to today. First, reframe your story. Stop reading your life as a list of failures and start reading it as a narrative that's still being written. So every chapter that you lived, even the painful ones, contains something that God can use. Your mess is not wasted material. It's a future testimony. Second, separate your condition from your identity. You may be in a broken season. That may be real, but a broken season does not make you a broken person, a broken vessel. Your circumstances don't define you, and your past does not get the final say, the final word on who you are. Third, give yourself the grace of development. We give seeds grace. We plant something today in the ground, and we don't go back 3 days later and dig it up and want to know, where's my tree? Why don't I have a tree yet? We water it, we give it time, and we trust the process. You're a seed in the ground right now. What looks like nothing from the outside is actually everything happening beneath the surface. So growth that can't be seen is yet still growth. And then fourth, stay on the wheel. This is the hardest one. The potter's wheel is not comfortable. It's not comfortable. It's not a comfortable place to be. But being shaped requires pressure. It requires stillness. It requires surrendering control. But the moment that you jump off the wheel, because it's uncomfortable, you interrupt the very progress that was making you whole. So stay in the process. Stay under the potter's hands. Even when it's hard, even when it's slow, and even when you can't see what he's making. And I want to say that I need you to actually receive this today. You're not too far gone. You're not too damaged. You're not too far behind. You're not what happened to you in the past. You're not what your worst season did to you. And you are not the labels that people put on you. You're a person in development. And development, by definition, means that you're not finished yet. God has not closed the book on your story. He has not given up on the clay. He is still at the wheel, still working, still shaping something in you that the world has yet to see. The enemy wants you to look at where you are and call it destiny. But I'm here to tell you right now, this is not where you end up. This is where you are being built. So I want you to say this out loud right now. You know I got something to say. I'm not broken. I'm developing. And God is not finished with me yet. I want you to say it like you mean it, because it's true. So if this encouraged you today, I want you to share it with someone who needs to hear it. Because somebody in your life right now has been calling themselves broken far too long. Hit subscribe and turn on the notifications. We're building something on this channel and you don't want to miss it. And as always, no matter what you've been through, you're created to live victorious. I'll see you next time.